Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football and welcome to another episode of the Prediction Show. The Premier League is ending, guys, only a couple of weeks and we'll have to wait another 3 months without Premier League football. Back with me again on the show is Maisy. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you? And thank you again for having me on. I know I did bad predictions last time.
You actually beat me. You actually beat me 11-8 last time. You actually beat me 11-8. And she's a Man United fan, and to just show you how good she knows Manchester United, that week you were playing against Southampton and she predicted a 1-1 and that game ended 1-1. And I remember Shea Adams scoring that week at Old Trafford. I'm like, yeah, she got it spot on. So she definitely knows her stuff about Manchester United. But I'm sure she wouldn't want to talk about Manchester United that much in this trip because it hasn't gone too well for them since then. And it hasn't gone well for me this season against the experts. I'm currently losing 17-14. Only 3 match weeks to go. So if I don't win all 3 of them, I've actually lost. And Maisy has a chance to clinch it for the experts, 2-0 against me. Hopefully that doesn't happen. And we have the full 10 games this week. You're not going to focus on the other match games in hand midweek. You're just going to focus on the games over the weekend. So no early kickoff on Saturday. The first game this week will be Chelsea against Wolves. So I'll go let you go first for the first 5 games and then I'll go first for the next 5. So Maisy, how are you feeling about this one? Wolves still fighting for a top 7 place, or do you think it's done for them? And Chelsea, do you think it's already done for them, 3rd place?
When I look at both the teams, they both actually are not doing that good at all. Chelsea are dropping points where they shouldn't be dropping points. Really, they should have won against us. Brentford, they got absolutely battered. They've had a bad run in terms of the Champions League as well. Wolves, they lost 3-0 against Brighton. Even though they've been so well defensively all season, it just feels like now they know about the top 6. Seems like, what's the point? I'll just fight for top 10. And that shouldn't really be the case because overall they've actually been pretty good. So it's for this game, I actually find it so hard to call. But I do think, though, especially knowing that there is rumours coming out with Chelsea, with the new owner, maybe that boosts some confidence up. And I also think there as well that they'll want to try and get at least some winning momentum ready for the FA Cup final because they've got that next weekend. So I actually am going to go for a 3-1 win for Chelsea.
3-1 win for Chelsea. Wow, that's convincing. I mean, they'll also have another game in midweek before they play against Liverpool. So I don't know if they'll keep an eye out on that one. But I expect the likes of Alonso and Reece James to all start this week. And as you say, Chelsea have been a bit terrible. I mean, okay, they did have like 20 shots against you guys, but they were failing to score. Their strikers, it hasn't worked out for Lukaku and Van as well since last season. So I think they're going to win because Wolves are basically what you're saying. They're already on the pitch enjoying themselves. So I'm going to go for Wolves to score as well, but Chelsea to get 2. So Chelsea 2, Wolves 1 on that one. The next one at the same time will be, now, if those guys are on holiday, Maisy, these ones are definitely not. Burnley against Aston Villa. Do you think Burnley will pick up another win again?
It's very, you know what? I wouldn't put it past Burnley whatsoever. We know like Burnley's had a poor season and they've done so well under Jackson to pick up points. Jackson as well, he's been nominated for Manager of the Month. I think they've done extremely well. Aston Villa, a lot of people I think have overhyped Aston Villa in my opinion this season. I know they've got like Coutinho, they've got a couple of other signings there as well. I know it's Burnley and Aston Villa have both been quite disruptive, but the difference is Villa are losing points where they shouldn't be losing points. Burnley are picking up points where you wouldn't think they are going to pick up points. In terms of Aston Villa, though, they should be a lot higher than where they are. They should be at least 12th, 13th. They should be much better anyway, whereas Burnley, I couldn't write Burnley off at all. And I actually think Burnley's going to come out with a win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for Burnley.
Another win for Burnley. So it's almost like we're speaking about Real Madrid and not Burnley. They're just winning and winning every single day. But I actually agree with you on Aston Villa. people overhyped them. Like, I remember when they signed Coutinho and he came on against you guys and he had an impact. And then the next game, I think he scored as well. But since then, I think they've won like 2 games in like 10. They've lost a lot of matches. Watkins has not been at the top of his game. Coutinho as well. Digne has been picking up injuries, and Burnley are on form. And Aston Villa actually have, I think, Liverpool as well to go. Manchester City, they could lose all the remaining games and end up like in 15th or something. I think they're actually 15th right now or something.
Yeah, they are.
I don't actually remember. But Burnley, Aston Villa, you've gone for a 2-0. I think it's going to be a draw. I'm going to go for a draw. I don't think Burnley will lose. So I'm going to go for Burnley 1, Aston Villa 1, which wouldn't be a disaster for Burnley at all. The third game will be another couple of teams that are probably on holiday already. Maisy, Brentford against Southampton. What do you expect in this one?
Oh, Brentford versus Southampton. That is going to be a tough one to call, because Brentford, apart from when they actually played against us, they actually had an unbeaten run with Ericsson. Southampton, they've been a bit of yo-yo for me. They've been good in some parts, and then other parts they haven't been so good. Like, you look at them when they played against the teams in the top half of the table, you would literally think, wow, where are you getting these draws from? Like, they drew twice against us. They was unlucky against City, unlucky in one of the games against Chelsea. They beat us. Yeah. But then when they play the games in the lower half of the table, it's like they get embarrassed. So it's like, in a way, they don't know how to work around these bottom half of the table, and that's what I thought Brentford was like at the start of the season until they went on bad form. But I actually think this is going to be a draw, and I'm actually going to go for a 2-2 draw.
2-2 draw. Wow, you're thinking exactly like me. I'm thinking of a high-scoring game because both teams are on holiday. Tony wanting to add to his goals. Maybe Odd Prowse wanting to add another free kick just for the sake of it. He does it for fun. So I'm going to go for a draw as well. But I'm going to go for more goals, believe it or not. 3-3, game of the week there. Brentford 3, Southampton 3. I can see it being free for all. Just attack. So good prediction there. The next game also at the same time is Crystal Palace and Watford. I think if Watford don't win here, they are relegated. So do you think it's done for them this weekend?
Yeah, I do think it's done for them this weekend. Watford, they're just an awful team. I'll just be honest, and that's me putting it politely. Yeah. Crystal Palace, I actually underestimated them this season, because I think I was going off Patrick Vieira based on how he played in League One and how he played in the MLS. So I wasn't thinking, he's going to get sacked. But he's done so well. He's transformed Crystal Palace. He's relying on his youth players like Conor Gallagher, and I think he will get a good win here against Watford, especially knowing he's at home. I think the atmosphere at Crystal Palace is incredible. I know quite a few Palace fans, and they've never felt so engaged at this moment in time in terms of their club. They feel like the love is back from Patrick Vieira with Crystal Palace. So I'm going to go for a convincing win for Palace, 3-0.
3-0 for Palace. I think Watford will get a goal, but I'm going to definitely agree with everything you say there. I'm going to go for Crystal Palace 3, Watford 1, and that will be goodbye to Watford. And they actually started the season very well. They picked up they scored 5 against Everton, they put 4 against United, they scored another 4 against someone else. I mean, they are really, really good. So right now, not so much. So Crystal Palace to win it 3-1. And Crystal Palace haven't been like at the top of their game, but in terms of balance, they've been okay the whole season. So 3-1 there. The next game will be you guys, Maisy. Brighton against Man United. You won your last game against Brentford, your last home game of the season. You have Brighton and then Crystal Palace away, remaining 2 rivals, Brighton and Palace. So do you think you'll pick up another win here, another goodbye for the likes of Cavani in this one, or do you think Brentford was your last win?
I think that we've still got 2 more games. We've got Brighton, we've got Crystal Palace. Top 4's done. We already know that, and we're going to be fighting for Europa League. With Brighton, they've had some good games, but they haven't too. They've picked up wins against Hughes. They picked up a win against Tottenham, but they've done it against Wolves. But then they're getting battered in other places. Like, you look at, for instance, the Norwich game. They should be picking up points against Norwich, and they haven't. I think they are missing out on Dan Burn, just because they shouldn't have really let him go in the January window, knowing that they haven't got anyone to replace. They haven't got a very good goal scorer for me, what I think can affect the goal scoring ability. So I do think that Manchester United will pick up a win, but I think it will be a very scrappy win. I think it'll be a bit like, do you remember the 3-2 last season where we ended up getting a penalty when the whistle already blew?
He scored after the game was over.
It will be that scrappy, but I don't think it'll be as high as 3-2, but I think I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think Ronaldo's going to score. In our last 8 games, there's only been 3 goal scorers for United. Ronaldo, Bruno, Fred. That's it.
Yeah, so, Bruno should have had 2, really. Bruno should have had 2. He should have scored that penalty.
He should have been scoring a lot more.
He should have scored a lot more. You're very, very right. So I definitely agree with that. Brighton I remember that game very well against Man United. I think they hit the post 5 times in that game. They were very good, and that's when people are asking themselves, Brighton, they get so many chances to dominate the game, but they don't score the goals. And he won that game. Last question before I do my prediction. Are you part of the fans who don't want Europa League and Conference? You rather finish 8th and concentrate on the league, or do you actually want Europa League?
It's a tough one, to be honest, because I can see where the people are coming from, that they don't want Europe, but under the same breath, in my opinion, we need sort of a little bit of stability. I know having no Europe has been beneficial there for Arsenal, but in that respect, it's not going to be beneficial for every single club. And I think that Europa League football, at least, it will help. Even if we play our young players, just give them a little bit of experience, because we've got plenty of young players coming through. We can use them in the group stages, the quarters, whatever we decide to do. So I actually would rather have the Europa League football, just so we can give the youth a chance. Because I know Ten Hag will give them youth players a chance, and then with our senior players who will be starting, we can concentrate on trying to get top 4 again, and then we can try and have a good cup run, at least, if that's the Carabao Cup or the FA Cup. So I would prefer Europa League, but I can see why other people don't. But it doesn't matter for me if there's European football or not. We can't go for these same players who are commercial buys, because it's just going to remain the same for the club. Nothing's going to change.
Awesome. I think you're going to draw this one, because I think you've already clinched 6th place after that Brentford. And if you hadn't won that game, I would probably have gone for a win here. But I can see some players getting chances. I wouldn't be surprised if one of the defenders gets rotated by stats, for example, or such kind of players like Hannibal stats or something. I wouldn't be surprised if most of them get chances in this game. Mata once again. So I'm going to go for 2-2, because Brighton also, I think, last home game they'd be very up for it. So 2-2 in there. I don't think it's going to be a disaster for you guys, whether you win or draw or lose that game. So 2-2. The last game on Saturday, we actually have a late kickoff on Saturday, like really, really late. The late kickoff is United and Brighton, and then the really, really late one is Liverpool against Tottenham. Now, this Liverpool-Tottenham game, Liverpool still fighting for the title, obviously, beat Villarreal the other day. Tottenham could still finish 6th. You guys could still finish above them. If you beat Brighton and they lose this game, and then they lose to Arsenal and you win against Crystal Palace, you could easily finish above them. And for Arsenal, this is the game we're depending on. If Liverpool beat Tottenham, then I'd be 80% convinced we can get top 4. I think Liverpool are very, very strong right now. I don't think they'll lose any game between now and the end of the season. That could mean a quadruple for them. So hopefully City also win every single game to stop that quadruple. I'm going to go for Liverpool to get 3 goals and Tottenham to get 1. 3-1 to Liverpool. How about you?
I think Liverpool's going to fight for the very end. And with Tottenham, they're perfect at being inconsistent. They're perfectly inconsistent, let's just say. They still got a couple of tough games to go. I know they've got a game in hand against Arsenal. So either one of them, depending on this game, are going to be dropping points. So it's going to be... I think Liverpool is going to win, but I think it's going to be 3-2, because Mo Salah for me hasn't really been in his form. Jota hasn't recently. It just feels like they're relying a lot more on Diaz and Mane to get the job done, and especially if Henderson don't play, it could be another Villarreal all over again in the first half. Whereas Tottenham, they haven't improved with Kulusevski signing. and we're seeing a lot better out of Harry Kane and Son. So if they get them spaces, like for instance in Trent Alexander-Arnold's side, because you know that he can give possession away quite a lot, it can get a bit damaging for Liverpool depending who their starting 11 is.
Yeah, I mean, the likes of Kulusevski, I think he's done okay in terms of assists and goals, but not taking them to the next level. Obviously, if they don't finish top 4, it's basically almost just a couple of position improvement. But Bentancur, I don't know. One of them is on loan, so I don't know which one they're going to send. I don't know if it's both of them, but let's see what happens in the summer. But 3-1 for me, 3-2 for Maisy. So Liverpool until the end to fight against City. On Sunday, we will have Arsenal against Leeds as the first game. Now, usually this is a game where I look at it and like, we're definitely going to win this one, but it's really different when you're fighting for top 4. I'm looking at Leeds and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not even sure you're going to score a goal in that game. Like when you're fighting for top 4, it's really, really scary. It's almost like fighting for the title for us. It's downright very, very scary because Leeds are fighting against relegation, and if Everton win a couple of games, it's going to be Leeds going down. Now it's Burnley. Expect Burnley to pick up a couple of wins. So Leeds are never good defensively. We saw City scoring 4 against them the other day. I think Tottenham scored 4 against them. You guys put like 3 goals against them at their place. You scored like another 5 at your place against them. They really concede a lot of goals. I think we scored 5 against them at their place. I'm going to go for Leeds to score, but Arsenal 3, Leeds 1.
I think it's going to be Arsenal 2, Leeds 1. I think even though they've had a tough run, under Jesse Marsch, they have improved for me defensively than compared to what they was Bielsa-wise. And they've actually got some players back. They've got Calvin Phillips back, who is a main player there at Leeds. And I've seen, especially in some games with Arsenal, that they have struggled in a couple of the lower league table teams. Like we've seen the struggle with Arsenal, we've seen the struggle with Brighton. So Leeds, knowing the trouble they are in, they don't probably want to be classed as second season syndrome. And as I always say, it's so much harder to play a team who's fighting relegation at the end of the season. It's so much harder because they will do whatever it takes to get this win. So I think that is going to be a lot tougher than what a lot of people do think. Because I know people probably think, oh, we're going to back 5 goals, 6 goals, whatever. But I think it's going to be a 2-1 for Arsenal. I think it'll be a lot close. A lot closer than a lot of people think.
I definitely don't think we're going to score 5. I'm actually very nervous for every single game remaining, but everything you've said, very, very true. I don't think they'll just let everyone beat them, especially I think they have Chelsea in midweek as well, so they have to pick up points somewhere from those 2 games, and hopefully it's not against us. So Arsenal leads, I've gone for 3-1, she's gone for 2-1. You've mentioned relegation. Speaking of teams fighting against relegation, Everton. They beat Chelsea. Surprisingly, I wasn't that shocked because Chelsea haven't been playing well, and that was Everton's home game. But Everton have been terrible away from home. I don't know how many games they've won, maybe 1 or 2 away from home. And Leicester as well, they're playing against Roma in the Conference League on Thursday night when you're recording this. I don't know how tired they'll be, how focused they'll be on that one. If they go through, I might not be surprised if they rest players in this game, for example. But Everton, I think they'll score this time. I don't know about the fitness of Richarlison, but away they're just terrible. I'm actually going to go for a Leicester win. A Leicester 2, Everton 1.
You know what? I actually am going to go for a draw. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. Leicester have been poor this season. This is the worst Everton side I've ever seen. But when you look at it, Everton is picking up points, even though you won't think it. They're picking up points against Chelsea. They picked up points against us. Especially knowing that they've had this Chelsea win, they're going to bring such good momentum there. And Leicester, really, in the Premier League, what have they got to fight for? They haven't got nothing at all to fight for, whereas Everton do have something to fight for. They need a fight to get out of relegation to avoid embarrassment. So I think they will get at least a point, and I'm going to go for 1-1.
Do you think they'll stay up? Between them and Leeds, who will go down? Everton.
Everton will go down for me, and I will laugh.
I love it as well. Don't worry about that. The next game will be Norwich against West Ham. Now, Norwich already relegated, and West Ham, just like Leicester, they're really focused on the front foot game. Depends. If they win that game, then they'll be focused on the final. If they lose it, then they'll only have like 3-4 games remaining in the Premier League to try and catch United for 6th. I don't know, man. I don't think Norwich will get anything from me. I remember this similar kind of game the COVID season where there were like 2 more games remaining. Norwich had been relegated, and I think Antonio scored like 4 goals in this game. I can see that similar game, even if West Ham will be tired. I'm going to go for Norwich 1, West Ham 4.
Ooh, good one. Norwich is already relegated, so I can't see Norwich getting anything. West Ham, they've actually been on quite a poor run at the moment. They have dropped quite a lot of points, but they have lost quite a lot of players. I know they've got a couple of players back now with Kurt Zouma, who for me, even despite everything personal-wise, has been solid for West Ham in general. Declan Rice has been brilliant. Bowen, he's been incredible. And even though they have got the Europa League game tonight, actually, I do think that they will still get a win. I think it's going to be a 2-0 win, though, because I've seen that Norwich isn't that bad. I didn't play that bad defensively against us, but I don't know. I just think they probably might lose the momentum now. They've got nothing to play for, and I think West Ham, they'll want to at least try and fight for that top 7. Even though probably they may get Champions League football, it's still good to get as high as they can in the table just to prepare themselves.
They didn't play that badly against you guys, but you still scored 3 goals. I guess that's their level. Like, if they don't play badly, they concede 3. If they play badly, they concede 7. I don't know about them. Do you think they'll come up again? People are complaining about Norwich going down, coming up, going down, coming up.
They will come back again. We'll see him at the end of next season. Norwich promoted with 91 points. Oh, hello again. How are you?
I don't know. They need to change something about that team now. Manchester City against Newcastle. I'm sure Maisy is also still shocked about what happened last night against Real Madrid. Some are saying their confidence is hit. They might end up dropping points in one of these games and Liverpool win the title. But someone like me is saying, now that Guardiola is very angry and mad, they will absolutely score 30 goals in the remaining 4 games and just clinch the title like by 2-3 points clear. I don't know if it's going to be like that. I'm going to go for a win here, definitely. I think Newcastle will get a goal, but I think City will score 4. I think City will absolutely run riot. 4-1 for Manchester City. For
me, this is Newcastle ain't doing that bad at all. Manchester City, they just feels like at the moment, even though they're at the top of the league, it feels like that they're in second gear. Like they bottled the 12-point lead in the Premier League. Obviously, what happened last night, it hasn't worked for them at all. And I know Pep will be extremely frustrated, but I think if they are going to drop points, it will be either against Newcastle or it will be against West Ham. But I do genuinely believe that City will end up winning. I think it's going to be a 3-1 for Manchester City. But if Newcastle turn up the way that they did against Liverpool, they could concede a whole lot less goals because they was very well defensively put against Liverpool. But if Newcastle play well defensively, come on the counter attack, and then get a goal, even if they get 2 shots on target the whole game and then their goals, whereas City scores 1, it's completely different. So I think Newcastle need to come in with a strategy if they want to get 3 points.
Man City and Liverpool, who will win the league?
I think Liverpool will win it last day of the season. I really do, and it really pains me to say. It really does.
That will be 20 for them, right?
Yeah, 20.
They'll equal your tally. I mean, crazy. So those are the predictions for this weekend. The last 2 questions, as usual, one player to definitely score. Last time, Maisy went for Bowen and he scored. So who are you going for this time?
Ronaldo. Ronaldo.
Ronaldo to score against Brighton. I am going to go for the West Ham game. And I don't know who's going to start, but I'm going to go for Antonio to score against Norwich again. And then last time, in terms of goals, we were both way off. I think I went for 30, went for 35 goals, and there were like 19. It was one of the lowest scoring weeks. Like there were a couple of 0-0s, 1-0, 1-0. So this time round, I can see a lot of goals in the Liverpool-Tottenham game, Arsenal, Leeds, Norwich, West Ham. So I'm going to go for 29.
I'm going to go for 34.
34 goals. Very, very interesting. So thank you very much for coming on again.
Thank you for having me on, Glen. It's been a pleasure.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, don't beat me because you have the chance to clinch the title for the experts this season, and it's been a shocking season for me in terms of the predictions. But let's see how it goes. Thank you guys for watching. Let us know your predictions in the comment section. Which game will have the most goals? Thank you for watching. Keep staying safe, and we'll catch up with you guys on the next one.